this is not do-it-yourself AI. It's just ready to go out of the box. So even small companies, they're not going to go train a model. They're not, it just makes it simple, right? I can turn on an agent. I can use low-code tools. I can point it at my data. If you've already built flows, you can use those flows. If you've already built Apex, you can point it at the Apex code you've already built. If you have APIs in your organization,
they're available as well.
They're available. You just point it at the API.
Today, I'm speaking with Alice Steinglass, EVP and GM of Salesforce Platform. Alice comes to Salesforce with great technical knowledge of product and engineering and an incredible history, studying at Harvard, working 14 years at Microsoft, and then president at co.org. Welcome, Alice. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Alice, at Salesforce, we believe a lot in democratization of tech. And, we have the Trailhead platform, but in your background, you've been a part of co.org, the president there. Tell us a little bit about the vision and, what's the charter there?
I'm really passionate about expanding access to technology to builders. It's shocking. When I started at code.org, only 10% of schools in the United States offered a single computer science course.
Wow.
And it's not kids who took it. That is their school even offered a course, right?
Wow.
And this is a global problem. There's some countries that are ahead, but there are a lot of countries where students just didn't have access to basic computer science education. And the challenge there is not just understanding the technology that's all around us, but empowering the next generation of builders and creators. Because, I look around and there's so many problems that we could solve with technology if people had the ability to do it. And so I'm excited about what we did at code.org. We did the Hour of Code. It was an international.
I remember that. Yeah.
Did you do the Hour of Code?
Yeah, we did.
Excellent. Yeah, we did a big thing in Australia.
Yeah.
We did a big thing in Thailand, just around the world, helping bring students and teachers into computer science education. And then we also did K-12 curriculum and teacher training. And that's the foundation. That's the beginning of getting people into being able to become creators. But one of the things I'm excited about at Salesforce is that we can take the next step. Right? Salesforce is an incredible low-code platform. And what that does is it enables people who are closer to the business, people who are working in these business operations every day and can see, hey, this is something I can do to automate a process, to waste less time, to improve my business, and be able to build that and create it with technology on top of the Salesforce platform. We have 21 million trailblazers who are building on the platform, who are creating solutions at their companies using the Salesforce technology. So I'm excited about that. And I'm really excited about Agentforce. Agentforce. This takes it to the next level. It's not just low code. It's being able to describe in natural language what I want my agent to do and being able to empower the builders and creators with AI to accomplish things. So I'm really excited. I'm passionate about bringing the capability to more of the world. And I think this is the next step.
For the folks that aren't as familiar, the platform is pretty amazing at Salesforce. They've been developing it for 25 years, maybe before our time, but you've now taken the helm there on that. Tell us, what is the platform and help for the folks understand a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I think of the platform as a bunch of building blocks that underlie our own clouds like sales and service, the industry clouds, revenue cloud, but they also allow companies to build their own solutions on top of the platform, or ISVs. We have thousands of ISVs who have built solutions for quality management, for compliance, for document generation, for contracting on top of the platform. So if you have a marketing thing, you have something that's going on with operations, you're coordinating, I've got feature requests coming in and I want to coordinate, I want to pull it into something. They can build that for themselves on the low-code platform. And we have a lot of companies who do that. We have actually 9.5 million apps that have been built on the Salesforce platform.
That's incredible.
It is incredible, right? And automations, people are automating across the board. They're automating all these processes within their businesses using Flow and using the low-code platform. Do you know we run over 300 billion automations every month at this point?
That's incredible. I feel like I know these stats, but they're getting bigger all the time.
It's just growing. It's just growing. So yeah, we have an incredible set of trailblazers who are looking at their businesses, looking at the processes. They're like, I don't want to do that by hand anymore, right? I repeat this process every time. Let me automate that as part of the Salesforce platform.
Now tell me, you mentioned, I love that, the building blocks, right?
Yeah.
And, Mark, our CEO, always talks about future-proofing your organization. How does it work? Like, how does the customer get the latest innovations? Because you guys are adding all the time, right? So how does that all work?
Well, that is one thing that people love about the platform. People tell me that, right? Is that they don't have to manually upgrade in order to be able to
Because that was how it all worked before, right?
No, at my last company, we had to rebuild it all in React. I talked to people who built an app on the Salesforce platform in 2013, and they're still running.
Oh, wow.
They're still running.
We bring them along the journey.
We're bringing them along because they get the upgrades 3 times a year. We bring in the new technology. So it's not just that the app is still running. The app is still running, but it's also that it's got new technology. It's got new capabilities.
You're future-proofing it.
Yeah, that are constantly available that you can just work with your app, and you don't need to rewrite it. You don't need to manage it. You don't need to do the patches. It's just there, ready to use.
That's amazing. And now we mentioned Agentforce. It is obviously the next evolution of AI with agents. Yes. Maybe you can explain some of the capabilities that are available and then how our customers are starting to think about this.
Agentforce is really exciting. When I think about agents, it's not just the agent. The agent is basically the smart intelligence, right? That discerns the user intent and then figures out what is that thing you want to do or what is that knowledge you want to get and then gets it. But there's parts that go under that agent and there's parts that go above that agent that are really interesting. So under the agent, in order to be able to answer your question, it has to have access to the right data.
Right.
Right? And so there's different kinds of data that you really want your agent to have. You want it to have your CRM data, or if you're doing solutions for other departments, what's marketing, operations, you want it to have the custom objects that you've built for those solutions. You want to give your agent access to
just
those.
Just like do it an employee.
Do it like an employee, exactly, right? Yeah. But you also probably have knowledge articles, unstructured data that's out there. And so what we've done is we've built solutions with Data Cloud where you can pull in that unstructured data so your agent can reason across it, can understand all of the content, the background, and the same space as your employee would. They understand what they're working with in the organization. Best practices, hey, why did that last event fail or succeed? And, let's go get the postmortem docs.
Yes.
Let's pull that in, right?
Yes.
And then you have an agent that's able to work with the user to understand what they want. And then the part that I'm most excited about is that the agent can take action. It can answer your question. It can pull in some knowledge. That's great. But this powerful, talking about those automations, those flows, those capabilities, you can power your agent with those same flows. So if you've written a flow that allows you to deal with order returns, right, or reschedule something, your agent can call that flow. And what's extra special about that is that flow has all of the governance and control.
All the guardrails.
Are the guardrails built in. I do want my agent to be able to understand what you want to do, and I wanted to figure out which flow we should call, but I actually don't want my agent to process that return, right? Because, when I do a return, I want it to call an ERP system.
Yes.
I want to make sure it's absolutely right. It's a very formulaic process. And the other thing I want the right governance in place. And so what we've done is we've enabled this non-deterministic AI to call these deterministic flows that can get all the right guardrails, they can have all the right governance in place, they can follow all the right user permissions, and they can take real action in your organization.
I love that. Now, it's amazing technology advancements. What are you hearing from our customers?
They're excited. I have one person after another coming and telling me, hey, this is exciting. This is what I'm going to do with it. I've got, I was just talking to somebody who said that they're going to use it for translations. I've got somebody who was telling me how they're going to use it to do understanding of customer sentiment, and they want to be pulling it in and helping them reason about customer sentiment. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, and we're right at the beginning of rolling out this technology. And what's going to be interesting is how people then leverage it across their businesses.
And so with that, you're seeing, and in your answer, I'm picking up all industries, all business units. This is really something that's applicable for companies of all sizes, really.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that it does is it makes the technology very accessible. This is not do-it-yourself AI. It's just ready to go out of the box. So even small companies, they're not going to go train a model. They're
No.
not, it just makes it simple, right? I can turn on an agent. I can use low-code tools. I can point it at my data. If you've already built flows, you can use those flows. If you've already built Apex, you can point it at the Apex code you've already built. If you have APIs in your organization,
They're available as well.
they're available. You just point it at the API. So getting this set up is extremely easy. And what that means is you can use it if you're a small company, but it also is going to scale to the largest companies who are very excited about this as well.
For the CIOs in the room who, might have been around for a long time, you mentioned you've worked on many platforms.
Yeah.
Some of them might want to build their own or use other platforms. Like, is the metadata the secret sauce? Like, what else is differentiating for the platform?
It's the whole thing. I was talking to a CIO recently, and he said, hey, I've got a ton of these apps that have been built for internal business processes at my company. And they were built by, teams. They were like, hey, I'm just going to use whatever technology. I'm going to build this one in React. I'm going to build this one on this.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah. And it worked in the moment, right? He's like, they built it. They got it out there. They had a little applet for this. They had a little applet for that. But businesses change, right? What you designed for 6 months ago is probably not the business requirement 6 months later. And maintaining and managing that mess of applications is really hard. And then on top of that, you have the challenge of the user permissions, the governance, the control. And so what he was doing was rewriting all of those apps in the Salesforce platform so that he could have sharing permissions, security, control, governance, and so that he could take advantage of the low-code platform and just be able to upgrade it constantly as the business changes.
Now, look, can you pull back the curtain a little bit? Like, what's down in the roadmap? What can you share, without going too far ahead? What's going to excite you and our customers in the future?
I mean, there's so much. We just announced platform login licenses. So if you want to get started building on top of the platform, but with more of your employees, right? Beyond your sales users, beyond your service users, but you're not ready for a full seat license, you can now try it out, build an app consumptively. We've also agents we've already talked about agents, but obviously
they're coming and
so the first versions of agents are the agents that are built in for sales and service, but custom agents that will allow you to build your own agent for any part of your business. We're very excited about that. We have a number of improvements we've made in the dev